Good evening and welcome to the PoliticIt podcast. Tonight we have Ignacio Valdez. And Ignacio, you're running for the House of Representatives. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me over to your podcast. It's certainly a pleasure, not a pressure, a pleasure to be here. English is my second language, so please bear with me.
Yeah, you're great.
So it's definitely fantastic to run for office. I was born and raised in Monterrey, Mexico. And I opted out for coming in here, and obviously I did it legally, and I always have to brag about that. And I obtained my citizenship back in November 4th, 2009.
So you're a citizen now.
I am a citizen now. That is correct.
So let me just ask you a few things about that.
Yeah.
You know, when you say you did it the right way, how does that happen? What do you have to do?
Well, you actually have to send an application to the Bureau of Citizenship and Immigration Services, and then obviously you have to pay your fees. And I did it with the help of a lawyer, and the rest is history. So
what do you do here? You live in Ogden, right?
Yes, I do.
And so what do you do professionally?
I do web development. Website development, and a little bit of IT as well. So.
Oh, very good. So did you go to college for that?
I did go to college for that, but the rest of all of my knowledge, I obtained it by practice, by experience. So that's what I like the most.
So I know you had a podcast for a while.
Yes.
I remember when I was running for office that you were doing that. But
yes.
What did you do? I mean, you go by Nacho on the podcast.
That
right?
is correct. Well, my name is Ignacio Valdez, but I go by Nacho. Nacho is a nickname like Bob is for Robert.
Right.
So yeah, there you go. So that's where it comes from, and it comes from Spain. Basically, that's
very interesting.
Yeah.
And so. When did you come to the U.S.?
I came into the United States back in 2003.
2003.
Like early 2003. And ever since, I've always looked for ways in order for me to become legalized and everything.
So did you go to school here? Or?
Yes, I did go to school here. I was like, 22 years old.
When you came?
Then that's when I came, yeah. And most of my formation was here in the U.S.
So did you come on a student visa to start with, or you just applied for citizenship?
I applied for residency first because I married a U.S. citizen.
Okay.
So that's how it works. You know, once you marry a U.S. citizen, then you start your paperwork and you get your path through citizenship.
Oh.
And it's something very neat because I'm a conservative. I come from a very conservative home. I come from Monterrey, Mexico, so people down there have a very high belief in conservative principles, just like us here in the Republican Party.
Right.
And they believe a marriage is between a man and a woman. They believe in entrepreneurship. They believe in education. They believe in hard work. So those are things that here in the U.S. as conservatives believe. And that's something that I connect, and that's one of the reasons why I connect very well with the conservative Republicans. So yeah, and I did have my podcast. I started it 3 years ago. But then, I put it off a little bit, but yeah, it's mostly conservative. It's called The Nacho Show. If you guys want to go there, just go to www.thenachoshow.com, and then you will be able to see more of me there on that podcast.
Very good. And so what motivated you to do that?
Well, the fact that, it is weird in society to see a Hispanic immigrant to be in the Republican side of things. It's kind of weird for them. So
That's weird. That's weird for me because I know your upbringing is very conservative.
Yes, sir.
Especially in line of the moral values and stuff that you have, and it seems like Hispanics in general are conservative that way, right?
That is correct, yeah. And because of the platform that I just mentioned. Now, another good quality of Hispanics is that their hearts are very softened. They are very soft. So, and that's the reason why Democrats, they operate on emotion in order to grab their hearts and then bring them on the left side. But something very interesting that's happening currently is the fact that Hispanics really are seeing that. And they're like, we don't want to be political punks anymore. And we're seeing that Donald Trump now, and a matter of fact, that Donald Trump is winning a lot of the Hispanic vote currently. And by a lot along.
So what issues do you think are driving people towards Trump?
The economy. Like I said, Hispanics are very entrepreneurial. And here in front of the camera, I'm gonna say something that's very true. You are never going to see a Hispanic begging for food on the streets. You are always going to find them looking for work to do. And that's what makes me very proud of my people.
Right.
And another interesting thing is the fact that 27% of District 10 here in Utah is Hispanic.
How many?
27%.
27%
of the voters of District 10 is Hispanic. And I know that me running for the Utah House of Representatives, I will gain their vote because I represent the conservative side. I represent those feelings that they brought when they came here to the U.S., the entrepreneurship. And I want to protect those beliefs that they have and bring them along with the ones that of the current population. I mean, it matches. It matches really, really well, and that's what I want to do.
So the conservative values, okay. Why do you think this district has been in the hands of Democrats for so long?
The same way that I've been saying all along is people don't want to be informed. They just read by the title of the book and then, okay, all right, I will go ahead and give you my vote. But now people are starting to see more into depth into the actual situations, and they really are looking for something different. That's for sure.
So what do you think are the major issues that differentiate you from your Democratic opponent?
Well, the fact that I want to protect children's education. I want to protect the parents' choice for them to choose of the education and everything, like where they want to send their children, what they want to do with that. So those are, and the most important one is data mining. The Democrat opponent has no idea or ignores the fact about the data mining in schools. So that's something that I want to work on.
Very good. Hey, we're going to take a break.
All right.
Okay, and we'll come right back.
Perfect.
Hey Siri, how do I get to the state capitol?
John, the fastest way to get to the Capitol is to make a lot of empty promises, to get help from special interest groups and endorsements from politicians. You will also need to buy a better suit.
That's not going to work for me, Siri. You need to find another way.
John, listen to me. If you're going to win your race, you will need to play the political game. You also need to use more hairspray and buy a golden retriever. Also, a new phone case would be nice.
It's enough of this.
John, are you there? Did you just leave me on the road? Fine. Keep your principles, John.
My name's John Johnson. I'm not running to be part of a system, and I don't owe anyone special favors. I'm running to listen to and work for you. I'm running to get results. Welcome back to PoliticIt. Again, we're with Ignacio Valdez, Ignacio Nacho Valdez.
That is right.
And the nachoshow.com, is that it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so, before the break, we were talking a little bit about what distinguishes you, right?
Yeah.
You're conservative. You're originally born in Monterrey, Mexico, right? You immigrated legally
Yes, sir.
to the U.S. and you're now a citizen.
Yes.
Right. And, interesting, during the break, we talked a little bit about why the Hispanic community is largely teamed up with the Democrats. Tell me a little bit more about your philosophy and why you feel like there's kind of this renaissance in terms of political.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I mentioned during the break is the fact that Democrats use in their marketing tactics the stereotypes. Apparently, they want to break with the stereotypes, but they really put in the Hispanics as they are Democrats by default. Same with the blacks.
Right.
And you remember when Biden said in a rally, if you are not black, then
you're not Democrat.
Then you're black. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing that the Democrats use with Hispanics as well. Hispanics, the major issue with them is immigration, because they understand that in order for you to succeed the best here in the USA, you have to be legal. You have to be legal. And the fact that the United States does have a really nice path to citizenship, because all countries do.
Right.
All countries do. Mexico has a fantastic, path to citizenship. And a lot of people that come from other countries, they go and do it. Now, every single sovereign country does have that. And Hispanics understand it. So the fact that you ought to become legal, that's very important to them, and that's one of the issues that are more prominent in the network channels like Univision or Telemundo. They use those channels because, and we have to be very honest with that. Univision and Telemundo are led by the left. And those are networks that the left uses to put in garbage into the Hispanics. Does that make sense? So that's the reason why.
Well, it seems like all of the press is kind of.
Well, yeah.
Right. It comes to things from the left.
Exactly. So I break with that stereotype. I break with the stereotype because I'm a Republican. I believe in the Republican platform, and I defend that platform. I stand by my religious beliefs, and I stand by entrepreneurship. So those are things that Hispanics believe as well. Hispanics are Republicans, but they don't know. Yeah.
So what have you been doing in terms of outreach in putting this message forward?
I have been actually into other shows, into other podcasts. I was down in Salt Lake at La Que Buena 907.1 FM. And I was invited by a gentleman, and we were in a debate about things. So it was very interesting because they stressed the fact that if Hispanics really want to be part of the society, they need to become legalized. And those were individuals that didn't like Trump whatsoever. I'm a very heavy Trump supporter.
What makes you a Trump supporter? Oh, yeah.
Well, right here. Yep. I gotta put it on.
Yeah.
I gotta put it on. So in the fact that this guy will definitely bring America into a great state. He stands up for conservatism and stands up for the beliefs of Americans and believes in the great economy that we are and the value of our dollar. He can definitely defend our perspectives to other people across the globe, even to China. And I believe that with all my heart. And I am going to be voting for. I actually led the Latinos for Trump movement when Donald Trump, started
first
getting into
ran.
office. Yes, sir. That's correct.
And so is that group still together?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we're still strong.
Do you still work with them?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I still work with them, and it's fantastic to know that there are lots of Hispanics that really back him up.
So what motivated you to run for the House of Representatives?
Well, I have been a state delegate for about 10 years, and there were so many things that I saw that I really wanted to work on. The fact that I want to work with my delegates, because being in the legislature is not just the legislator himself or herself. It is a collaborative work. It's not just the decision I'm going to make for my people. Is the people actually should make the decisions with me. That's how I take things into perspective. So my plan is to actually interact with my delegates while being on the floor. Ask them questions via text message or Telegram, or Telegram is.
Right. Yeah.
So I want to connect with them directly while the opportunity is for me to actually make a decision at the floor. And having meetings once a month or every other month, being in constant communication with them, because it's not just me that represents the people in District 10, it's also the state delegates or county delegates that represent their people in their neighborhood. So I want to make the decisions with them.
So the perception is that District 10 is a liberal district, and you would contend with that, huh?
Yeah, I will definitely contend with that. And like I said, the same exact politics that are being used in Mexico are being used by the Democrat Party. I know how to talk to Democrats. I grew up talking to, quotation mark Democrats throughout all my life. And I know how to come up to an agreement and a consensus and meet them in the middle, and then that way we can move forward.
So what do you do in that approach? How do you do that?
In that approach, well, like I said, we have similar beliefs. Grab them from the root of the beliefs that they have, that we have also, right, as Republicans.
So what are the issues, I think, that come to the top of your mind in terms of those beliefs, and how have they been expressed in the state of Utah?
In the fact that they want to protect their children as well. They want them to have a good education. They want to be able to grow in a way that they have those conservative values, though. They don't want to learn anything about LGBTQ agendas. They really don't care about that. They care about having kids good education. So we really need to make sure that firstly, we protect our perspectives here in the U.S. and then connect those perspectives and bring them to the table with them. So that's what I believe. So we need to make sure that those bills, those laws, they get created according to our values, and then that way we can connect them with that. So that's what I believe.
Well, we're about out of time, but what I want you to do is look at that camera and make your pitch to the voters. Why should they vote for you?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ignacio Valdez, and I am from Washington Terrace, Utah. This election, I would love for you to consider your vote. Vote for Nacho. Vote for liberty. Vote for the finding of the happiness here in the state of Utah, because we need to keep our Utah red the way that it should be. I believe in conservatism. I believe in freedom of religion and entrepreneurship. And I believe in families, and families ought to be together. So remember, votefornacho.com.
Thank you very much. Great job.
Thank you.
Nice to have you in. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator. It's been a pleasure. And well, we're recording. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.